Hey Mathwiz, what did you think of Star Twinkle Precure?
これから正義のためにバンバン悪い人を捕まえるであります。反警部補星空兵そうであったであります。全部覚えてるであります。ミラクルミラクルミラクルミラクルミラクルミラクル
Mathwiz?
It's fine. I'm fine. Something I enjoy about magical girl anime as a whole are their tendencies to craft overarching narratives through episodic conflicts. There's a sense of comfort in seeing the same dorks get into hijinks for 20 minutes week after week, yet a sense of wonder in not knowing what to expect. Maybe it'll be a goofy gimmick, or a bombastic action set piece, or a somber character drama. It's simultaneously a consistent and inconsistent viewing experience that, over time, has made me think more about what creators can achieve within what, on the surface, might seem like a stifling framework. What influence can a bit player have on the bigger picture? What ideas are strengthened by brevity as opposed to longevity? Why is Dog Girl so good, yet so underutilized? You know, the important questions. Star Twinkle Precure is pretty good. The overarching theme of imagination is flexible, applying just as steadily to outer space as to multiculturalism, personal agency, and creativity. It's a solid season of Precure, I recommend it. But in the spirit of that core theme, I'm gonna focus specifically on the material that piqued my imagination. For better and for worse. Now, to claim this as missed potential is to implicitly acknowledge that the character and her corresponding material had a strong foundation. And yes, episode 36 was one of my favorites. Does that partially come down to the fact that it has a cute furry with a heart of gold who tries really hard but is a massive klutz? Naturally, but aesthetics and... hold on a second.
ない
お前バカだから。
But aesthetics and archetypes aside, Anne's dynamic with Uni is genuinely engaging to consider. Now I know that in the past, some people have come across my content despite not knowing anything about me or the show I'm talking about. So for context, I'm a disaster, and episode 36 of Star Twinkle Precure centers on the cast attempting to take back a stolen cultural artifact from a mafia crime boss. Uni is the sole survivor of a planet whose inhabitants were turned to stone, her goal throughout the season being to save her people and retrieve what was taken from them. To do this, she wears a number of masks to gather intel and slip under her target's radar, so she and the gang do that here as well. Meanwhile, a new character, Inspector Anne, begins her own infiltration mission. She's here to cross-promote a movie. She's a space cop. Right off the bat, we establish not just the heroes and villains of this installment, but a third party that can provide a potential middle ground. Anne herself is a great foil to Uni, as while both characters share the same target and employ similar means of deception, their motivations are at odds. Anne is the straight-laced officer who plays by the rules, while Uni is the outsider who thinks the ends justify the means. That's a compelling dynamic to work with, and to tie it back to aesthetics, the dog cop sniffing out the cat thief's disguise just works. It's fun on a surface level, but offers the potential to touch on something deeper. When the two are brought together, Anne makes an effort to lecture Uni about how her actions are morally wrong, but Uni flips that back to Anne.
正義のためなら変装して騙してもいいの？理由があれば何をしてもいいんなら、そんなの誰にでもあるんじゃない？
And there's that look of hesitation on Anne's face, a moment of doubt as she's forced to confront the possibility that her viewpoint and actions might not match. Her attempt to take the moral high ground simply for being a cop backfires, as when Uni challenges her hypocritical notion of justice, Anne doesn't have a response. She seems to double down on her stealing is bad argument at the end of the episode, but that sets her up as the butt of a joke when Uni uses Anne's own handcuffs against her, an action I think supports the idea that Anne is misguided, as her very means of enforcing that justice prevent her from capturing Uni. Were she actually a recurring character, this could have planted the seed for an ongoing conflict, maybe even a shift in her mentality. But at that point I'm just fundamentally restructuring the anime. Anne wasn't designed to fill a supporting role, she existed for the sake of the movie. And unfortunately for me, she barely featured in that movie. She chases Uni away for the first half so they can make a dramatic entrance in the battle scene, she helps the girls beat the bad guys, then she stands on the sidelines during the climax. Anne isn't supposed to be important, so there's no room for the series to take the conflict of the TV episode further because it just wasn't designed that way. Not the movie, not the anime. That isn't to say that I hated the movie or can't appreciate other characters the story explored, but I wanted more Dog Girl. Yeah, I guess that's all my premise amounts to here. The fact that I got so invested in what was, in the grand scheme of things, a nothing character, is perhaps a testament to how fun that episode was. Or maybe just how much of an impact a small detail can have in the big picture. I've probably given more thought to this dog girl than any other conflict in Star Twinkle. And isn't that worth appreciating? Was going so far as to write this script not its own creative exercise? Was one story's quote-unquote missed potential not also a springboard for my own imagination? Or was this just an excuse for me to ramble about Dog Girl for a few minutes? Let's pretend the answer is to one of the more poetic sounding questions. I am working on another big project. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll have seen me talking about all the shonen movies I've been watching lately. That's because I'm trying to cobble together a script talking about the way that these shonen movies are structured, and there's a lot of movies, which means that there's a lot of stuff to watch and things to look into, and it's been a very interesting process, but a very time-consuming one, so I don't know when that video is going to be out. But I did also, 2020's been a year. I just wanted to end it on a nice note, just get something up there. I just wanted to talk about some stuff. And sometimes you don't need a big grand conclusion or a big grand reason to do a thing. Sometimes you just gotta do the thing. I don't want the outro to be longer than the video itself, but if I could make a quick plug here, I've started doing live streaming on Twitch. So I'll link the Twitch in the description if you want to go check that out. Give me a follow. I should probably also shout out Tyranno's YouTube channel, because it was their video on Star Twinkle that inspired me to actually go through with making this video in the first place. They have a series of videos called Watching All the Precure, where they watch all the Precure. So check that out, and see you in the next video.
Oh, okay. So what do you think about Gintama?